welcome to the Mama Nevin YouTube channel. I'm Joan. I'm Mama Nevin here and on Instagram. While what I'm doing here on this channel is I'm discussing all of the things that I have started and have not finished. And the way that I am doing this is every week I add a new unfinished object to what I had been working on the week before. So let's get started. It has been an interesting week for me. My phrase for this week is 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And you'll understand why in just a few minutes. First of all is my northeasterly blanket that I am making. I use the advents that I buy to make the northeasterly blanket. So I have enough advents purchased already to do about half of the blanket. So I'm starting to think of different ways to make other advents, get other advents. I have a lot of minis that I had purchased from Lay Family Yarns in the UK. Oh gosh, with the I'm so sorry. But I think I have enough yarn with them to make about 5 advents. Yeah, I really like their yarn. I love it. And if I lived in the UK, I would have one of everything that they make because I just think their color sense and their style is just amazing. So anyway, I don't know if I showed you. Here are the 2 sections that I did this week, once I get to them. All right. So remember we had this second one here that looked a lot like this one down here, and it still does. You know, I kept thinking from a distance I'd be able to tell the difference, but not really. So we've now gone into this color, which is kind of a mustardy color. So I only got 2 sections done on this week. It's a rough week for different things, different reasons, and I'll tell you about those. So remember last week we were discussing my pink quilt and now how I had added my pink quilt to the mix and I was going to get that pink quilt quilted. Didn't happen. I actually wound up discarding it. When I went to iron it to get it ready to be quilted, there was a smell that I cannot describe. And so then it was like, do I wash it 100 times and see if I can get the smell out? What if it falls apart because it's being washed so many times without being quilted? I mean, it made my whole room smell. It was really bad. So I talked to my husband about it. I was like, I don't know what to do. I feel so bad about this quilt. You know, I spent a lot of time on it one time, but it just, I can't imagine ever having a grandchild use this quilt. And so I decided to throw it away. Sometimes you just got to let it go. So I threw it away, marked it off my list. So that's another thing marked off. It didn't get done quite the way I thought it was going to, but it got done. So we're going to move on from there. I have been working on my Insurance Guys socks, and I've got the cuff done on one of them. I am doing 20 rows for him because he does wear a size 12. So that means that I need to try and get some length out of these wherever I can so that I have enough yarn. And here's the second one. I think I've got 7 rows done on that. So I'm going to start later today. What I've been doing with this is I've been making little videos along the way of this is how I do this. This is how I do this. And I've kind of been doubting myself a lot with that because there's so many other videos on YouTube of people that know a lot more than I do and are very much better spoken. And I'm like, is anybody even going to watch these? Should I make them? And I've decided that I'm going to go ahead with it because there may be somebody out there who can understand what I say better than they can understand other people. I know when I was learning how to knit socks and all the different things that I did with that, I watched a lot of different videos, a lot. So I am going to continue with that. And when I'm done, I'm probably going to put it in a playlist once I figure out how to do that. So there. And guess what this is from that yarn? Yeah, this is one of those skeins that obviously the moths have gotten to. So I will tell you this right now. If I ever get to the point where I'm going to give away prizes or whatever, if one of those prizes is yarn, I will ball it up for you like this, so I can go through it and make sure that there are no disconnections. There's nothing that isn't attached. Sorry, that didn't sound very good. But anyway, Becca's Frog. Again, with the 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I was working on this, and it's such a cute pattern. This is by Heidi Bears. It's such a cute pattern. And I realized that I had connected these two differently than I connected this one. So I am at a reconstruction point right now. I had hoped to have 4 of these put together for today, and I was working on it, and then I was like, it's getting late. I need to get this podcast or whatever you call it. I need to get that done because we're going to lose our light. We're supposed to get a big rainstorm tonight. So I decided to go ahead and make the video for today, and I'll get back to that, and I will have that all caught up for next week so that you can see it. Purchases. I have made some purchases. They have not arrived as yet, so I will show those when they arrive. So I've bought the executive producer from Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. She made a colorway to commemorate 2 people who have lost their pets, who are very incredibly in love with their pets. And so she made 2 colorways to honor those pets. And so executive producer was one of them. And that was for Denise on 2 Sisters and Some Yarns, little dachshund, Andrew. So I bought that. And then I was watching the Sweet Shop. Oh gosh, what's the name of her podcast? I will put it in here. I'll tell you what it is. I was watching her, and her sister Emily has a podcast called Salt City Knits, and Emily used to dye yarn. And right around the time I found out about Emily and was going to buy some of her yarn, she stopped dyeing for a little while for health reasons. So her sister, I can't think of her name. Her sister mentioned on her podcast, I think it's Sweet Shop Yarns. Don't quote me on that. But she mentioned on her podcast that Emily was dying again. And so I hopped over there as quick as my little fingers could take me and ordered some of Emily's Salt City Knits. Her yarn is called Yarnbrary because it's all to do with books and things like that. So I ordered some of her yarn, and that should be coming in. So last week we had talked about this thing that my husband had made for me. And the reason why he made it for me is the company Cord Smith only has these with 3 needles, and I wanted one with 4. So I ordered the latch hooks, and he put it together for me, and I said I was going to show you how it works. So basically what you do with this is you wrap your yarn around here, and then as you come up, as you pull these up, it will close the latch hook and keep that, the one that you're, the working yarn, it will keep that there instead of going off the needle. So again, what you do is you just wrap it around, and then you pull this, and it makes an I-cord. And I love it. I think it's great, and I will use it for other things. I will not use it for what I was going to make it for. I wanted a smaller one that made a smaller, here, let's see that. Made a smaller latch, made a smaller I-cord. I need to just stop because I'm not doing well today. Anyway, all right, so that was that. Now, what I'm adding next week, because I got rid of the pink blanket, so another UFO that I had, yes, I just started things left and right, is a tissue box cover. And this is for, I wanted to make a tissue box cover with a theme for each month. And some months is a little bit more difficult than others to find a theme. So anyway, this is my, actually I think this is my May box because of Memorial Day. So I had a list of the different ones that I was going to do. Of course, this can be for 4th of July as well. But it's called the Stars and Stripes Forever. It's from Mary Maxim. It was a kit that I got. And I got 3 of the sides this far. And then I have the top done. So I'll be working on that this week to see if I can get some more done on it. I don't think I'll finish it this next week, but I definitely want to get some more done on it. All right. And these little buttons came with it. That goes up at the top. So, pretty awesome. The only thing I really purchased this week that I brought home with me is some ribbon that I said I was going to use on my cross stitch to finish that off. So I'll be doing that this week. And that, as far as crafty things, that's all I've got. Pirate and Chips. Pirate is our dog. He's a 2-year-old Staffy mix. And he is so cute. I just adore him. And Chips is my grand dog. So I don't get to see Chips very often, but we have seen her actually twice in the last 7 days, which is pretty awesome. She came over along with my son. She came over for the Super Bowl, and I have an old home. It's about 70 years old. And so we have these really neat pocket doors in several different places in our home. And one place that we have is in the hallway. So we can close off the hallway, which is where all the bedrooms and the bathrooms are. And so what we did is we put Pirate into the hallway and closed the sliding door to let Chips come in and wind down a little bit before we let them see each other. Pirate has learned how to open sliding doors. We have never had a dog that was able to open that door. But he managed to get that door open before we could stop him. So that was fun. So it was a little bit of a rough start. They did, toward the end, they started working together to cause mayhem. She got up on my desk for work and got something and threw it to him, and he ran with it, and I was just like, we're in trouble. These two are starting to work together. We're in trouble. She also was doing such a funny thing. Pirate has these Nylabones, and he has quite a few because he's very spoiled. And she was taking his Nylabones and hiding them in the couch for, I guess, the next time she came to visit, so she would have them all ready for her. So that was pretty funny. When we went to my son's birthday party yesterday. My youngest son is 29. He's going to be 29 actually next week, but his wife had the party yesterday. And so after everything was over, we went over to their apartment, and Chip saw us, and she was just so excited. And then she looked over, and my other son, Scott, was coming, and Chips and Uncle Scott have a special relationship. And she saw him, and she was like, "All my people are in one place." And she was so happy about that. So, about Pirate, not only has he learned how to open our wooden sliding door in the hallway, he's learned how to open my closet, which is not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. I have a sliding door on my closet, and so he came prancing out one day with one of my shoes, and my husband said, "Didn't you close your closet door?" And I said, "Yeah, I closed my closet door." And we went in there, and he had figured out how to open it. So the only hope now for my shoes is to make sure the bedroom door is closed. So that's what we'll be doing from now. He also did this thing this week, and we don't know what happened, but he got up, he was limping. We're like, "What has happened to your leg?" And the only thing that we can figure is he laid in one spot too long and his leg went to sleep. So I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. So we're going to talk about Steve's birthday party. So we went to a barbecue restaurant that Steve picked out called Famous Dave's. And it was really, really good. We had never eaten there before. It was really, really good. And the only funny thing that happened was when the check came. And it's my husband and I and our 4 grown children. And the check came, and Ned goes, my husband leaned over to me and said, "Are we going to pay for this?" And I said, "I'm going to wait and see what Scott does first," because they gave the check to Scott. And Scott opened it and looked at it and handed it to us. So, that's why you bring mom and dad, so mom and dad can pay for things, I guess. I don't know. And after that, they went to an axe throwing, which I'm kind of speechless about. It was really amazing. They enjoyed it so much. They got really good at it, which is just awesome. They were hitting bullseyes left and right. So I'll be putting pictures in at the end of all of that, because, of course, anytime anybody hit a bullseye, we had to take a picture. They asked me if I was going to throw an axe, and I said, "No. I'm not angry with anyone, so I don't need to be throwing any axes." So, and also it was $25. And I would have thrown it like maybe once. So I was not going to pay $25 to throw an axe one time. Our eagles are doing fine in Big Bear. The male Shadow loves to bring sticks to make the nest. So that's kind of fun to watch. So we're down to show and tell. I'm like moving along here. So my show and tell for today is my Swift. And I have a portable Swift because before I had this room, I didn't have any place to set up a Swift and a ball maker. I didn't have any place to set it up, so it had to be portable. So this is what I found, and it's kind of unusual. It sits on its own base, and you just pull these out, and you screw this on top to hold it in place as you're spinning it around. And it doesn't quite go out as far as I would like when it's all the way down. So my husband made this little spacer for me, to make it go down even further, because my husband's a woodworker. He likes to, when he first retired, he kind of didn't know what to do with himself, so he made wooden toys. So this is my Swift, and it's called a Nirvana. So, my shout outs, I mean, I've said a lot about, oh, it's Candy Shop Yarns. Finally remembered. I have a lot of shout outs, and I'll put those in the notes at the end. And that is all I have for today. If this has been a rough one, it's been a rough week, and it's been a rough one to get through because I've forgotten so much along the way. If you have any suggestions besides get your act together, please leave them in the notes below. I would love to hear your suggestions. I want to thank everyone for watching. I have 36 subscribers, which I can't even believe it. So anyway, thank you for watching. I will put pictures of the axe throwing and some other different things at the end. Bye.
Mommy's special vlog. Mommy.
But I'm still gonna build it.